Hi, my name is Rashayla Daniels, and the topic that I chose to discuss from our book is ethical decision making. It intrigued me because that was what our discussion forum was on this week, and I really had a wonderful time answering the questions. And while answering the questions, I did my own research and I found a lot of useful information because I think as a business student, future law student, future attorney, it is very important for me to know how to make ethical business decisions. And I also think that it's just a good quality for anyone to have in their personal and business life. And especially with what's going on in our culture today, people like Bernie Madoff, um, all kinds of unethical things that are going on, the mortgage industry crash, which basically brought our economy to its knees. I think that we all can agree that focusing on how to make better ethical decisions is something that is very important in the business world today and our culture in general. So I went online and I did a little searching, doing some research, and I found an article on Forbes website, and I was just so intrigued. The name of the article is Business Leaders Beware. Ethical Drift Makes Standards Shift. Now, this article was written by Sebastian Bailey, and Sebastian talks about how he found the prominent psychologist Robert Steinberg, and Robert Steinberg believes in what he calls an ethical drift. And an ethical drift is basically a gradual, unconscious lowering of moral standards. And Mr. Steinberg believes that this is going on across all borders in the business world. Basically, we're suffering from ethical drifts because we've lowered our standards. It's okay today to be unethical without really saying that we're being unethical. Now, what Mr. Steinberg suggests is 8 stages to make better ethical decisions. And I was really intrigued by them once again, and I'm going to share them with you. The first stage Mr. Steinberg says that we should use is recognize that there's an event to react to, that it has an ethical dimension, and that it's serious enough to require an ethical response. Basically, what he's saying is recognize that what you're dealing with is going to determine if you're making an ethical or unethical decisions. In every decision that we deal with in business, we're not going to have to wonder if it's ethical or unethical because not all of them are going to be ethical or unethical. That's just what it is. It could be a great business decision for the business, or it could be unethical or ethical. And Mr. Steinberg says and shares with us that one of the best leaders that he knows that has the most integrity uses his own, what can I say, his own standard of deciding if he's dealing with an ethical or unethical decision. And basically, what he says is, if this situation was printed on the front page of the New York Post or the UK Sun, would you be comfortable with it? I think that's a good standard to go by. Number two, the second stage is take responsible for generating an ethical solution. Do not sit back just because your boss or your other colleagues are making unethical decisions and they have made this the standard in the workplace. Do not sit back and do the same if you know that what you're doing is unethical. Stand up for what you believe, stand up for what is right. In the long run, the situation will turn out better. Everyone will benefit in the long run. So you have to stand up. Do not follow the lead. Do not follow the leader if the leader is not doing what is ethical. The third stage is figure out what ethical rules apply. What are the principles that apply here? What is your company's mission statement? What is the company's creed? In a mission statement and a creed, companies say what they believe, what their morals are. And that is a great way to decide if you're doing what's ethical or unethical. It's easy to make decisions, ethical or unethical, ethical decisions based upon those mission statements. Let me give you a great example that Mr. Steinberg shares with us. There is a CEO of a company, and within the mission statement, it says that they care for people and they take pride and delight in clients. So this CEO is dealing with a very, very important client. And on a Friday evening, he calls a board meeting for that Sunday. Now, the lead consultant in this business, the lead person that knows all the information and can put together all the paperwork for the meeting on Sunday, is the best man in his best friend's wedding that Saturday. Now, what do? You care for people, so you care for your employees and you care for their personal lives, but you also want to delight your clients. So it's not always easy to make an ethical decision. So you have to decide how you're going to apply being ethical and at the same time fulfilling the company's mission statement. The fifth stage would be prepare for the repercussions. Now, if you are going to decide to stand out from the crowd, be the ethical person in an unethical environment, you're going to have to deal with some repercussions. You're going to have to deal with your name being tainted. You're going to have to deal with all the backlash. You're going to have to deal with being called a snitch or disbarred or blacklisted from your industry. So you have to be willing to deal with the repercussions. Now, if you ask me, it's always best to do the right thing, but it's not always easy. So you're going to have to be willing to deal with the repercussions. Let's say you become what they call a whistleblower in an industry. Let's say what happened with the mortgage crash. What if you were a whistleblower and you were going against big companies like Lehman Brothers or Goldman Sachs? These big companies are going to fight to the death so that they can obtain their good name. You're one person. Can you deal with that? I would say yes. I would say that it's always best to make the ethical decision. Now, the last stage is that you're going to have to act. Once again, you're going to have to decide, am I going to be ethical or am I going to be unethical? So, I hope that this was very helpful to you. I hope that it can give you some background and some great information that can prepare you and allow you to make ethical decisions in the workplace so that, you can do what's right and hopefully it will call for a great career for you. Once again, I hope that this was helpful and I'll see you guys later.